Hello, dear ones. Darshana Avila here, somatic sex and intimacy coach. And I'm coming with you, coming with you. Well, that's a funny little play on words. Coming to you from the 26th day of Power to the P, the month of February dedicated to mindful masturbation practice. Oh, my. What to say this morning? So, this morning, I'm really feeling the energy of the new moon. Happens to be that my blood is coming in sync with those rhythms. It also happens to be that in this time we have an auspicious occasion, Shiva Ratri, the night of honoring Shiva, the cosmic lord, the sacred masculine in the Hindu, the tantric and yogic faith and disciplines and philosophies. And so I've been reflecting a lot on the energy of the masculine, and this morning my practice took a very different shape. With my body, preparing to bleed, I definitely didn't want to move toward a lot of genital stimulation, and so I let my practice be a very still one, where I just laid in bed with my hands on my low belly, the warmth of my palms pressing down gently above my ovaries, my uterus, my whole womb space, and felt, breathed. And when that was done, I followed it up with also some journaling to just touch into more the quality of emotion and energy that's moving through me, since it felt like a very inward space and not requiring a lot of motion or stimulation, as I said. And I realized that, I work in a way and move through the world in the way where a lot of times my masculine energy, to use that terminology, and I'm using it in pretty narrowly prescripted terms here, my more masculine self comes forward, that action-oriented organizing principle to direct my life. And this practice of orgasmic yoga in a certain way invites the feminine forth, and yet doing it with this rigid structure for me has at times felt a bit masculine. Like I've got a container and timetables and I must honor this commitment, whereas the feminine tends to have more spontaneity and fluidity, and moves in accordance with impulse, just like the ways of nature. Very often the metaphor is used that the masculine is the riverbank and the feminine is the river that flows through it, to give a really simple and easy and somewhat accurate indication. And yet I'm using these terms masculine and feminine, and I want to just be clear to emphasize that this isn't simply about the bodies that we live in and the way we present out in the world and what gender we identify and associate ourselves with. Each of us has masculine and feminine energies in us. And in tantric practices, really at the heart of it all is the union of our own inner divine, sacred, masculine and feminine energies, the harmonizing, the bringing into connection and balance these two polarities. And when they are united in that perfect centered way, it is the pathway to understanding our own divinity, to bliss, to pleasure. And that's why so much of it does get associated with sexuality for us. And so I just really sat connecting deeply to the origins of my lineage and the teachings that have so inspired me, and really feeling into what was moving in my body today. And that call for stillness, and that call for presence, and that call to really be with the bigger emotions that frankly are very easy for me to ignore when I am a bit more armored up in action mode. And this is true for a lot of us. I'm sure that you'll find resonance here. So there's not a big share about the way that I touched my body today or the orgasm that I reached, because none of that was present. My most nurturing, pleasuring act today was to be with myself and bear witness to what was moving through. And so that's exactly what I did. And it brought me into connection with deep longing and deep tenderness, and reflecting on the way embodiments of the masculine have shown up in my life through past partnerships, and the ways in which I show up in my masculine It has me reflecting on the relationships that I'm involved in now and what it is that I ultimately aspire to create for myself in the realm of relationship. And yeah, that's another thing too. That's part of the humility and the vulnerability and the tenderness in all of this. You know, my work in the world centers around supporting and inspiring others along their paths in the realms of intimacy and sexuality and relationship. And don't be fooled. I'm very much on my own journey as well. And so it is a really inspiring thing and a precious thing for me to have the constant reflections and the laboratory that I live inside of through my work, to inspire my own path as well as to help me in service to others. So that's what I've got today. And I hope that wherever you are, as you feel the energy of the new moon, and whether or not you are particularly spiritually inclined, if you can take a little time to just connect to your understanding of the sacred masculine and how that energy lives in you and through you and around you and what your connection to it is, I think that that would be a wonderful way of honoring and entering into a self-pleasuring practice today, or whatever form of orgasmic yoga it takes for you. I wish you well. I am traveling again tomorrow, so it is my absolute intention to be back with you. But given what happened the last time I traveled cross country, I'm not going to make that promise today. I'm going to at least be realistic that there's a chance I might not record a video blog tomorrow, but it is my intention. I look forward to seeing you, if not tomorrow, the day after, which will actually be the close of this month. Crazy how quickly it's gone by. Amazing the rich and vast and deep territory we've covered. I will be back with you soon. Be well.